Oh, I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom. I, the pure consciousness, would manifest the words of truth and the words of wisdom. Blessings to be on my listener, the truth seeker, if whether it's a she or it's a he. So, any spiritual person or a person who is considered a sage or a person who is considered a wise man is not a preacher. A wise man, a seer, is not a preacher. A wise man, a seer, does not preach in the public places or try to gather people or going door to door like cold calling. A preacher does all that, but not a wise man, not a seer. A seer brings clarity. A seer or a wise man helps you see things more clearly and then leaves you alone. It does not, a wise man or a seer does not thump the books and follow you or pursue you. A wise man or a seer gives you rather a clear picture and after that leaves you alone. The job of the wise man or a seer is done here. What you do with that knowledge, what you do with that clarity in your awareness is entirely your business, you see. The job of a seer or a wise man is not to convince anyone, because if these are the words of truth and these are the words of wisdom, and if it has a shred of truth in it, it would resonate through you. I have mentioned that before. Giving you clarity, and the job of wise man or a seer is done. What you do with that clarity is entirely your business. Now, moving on to a more important topic. Now, moving on to a more important subject, because too many humans are suffering, because we learn to carry guilt and then we go around and ask people about a particular situation, and those people help us to carry guilt. We, the humans, sadly and unfortunately, have become addicted to pain. We, the humans, sadly and unfortunately, have become addicted to misery. We do not know how to handle our memories. We have become so addicted to pain and misery that sometime when we feel at peace, we feel strange because the feeling of being at peace is very alien to us now. That much we have become, unfortunately, addicted to pain and misery, we the humans, you see, and other around us, no matter who they are. Other around us, no matter who they are, they help us being more miserable. As one wise person said, misery likes company. You see, if we are miserable, we would find more and more misery in our life. You see, the energy, what we essentially are, the life, is like a magnet. Whatever is in the vacuum of ours would attract the same similarities from around. All this is happening because of the thoughts. Excuse me. All this is happening because of the thoughts. All this is happening because of the memories. The thoughts and memories are there for us to evolve consciously. It's very significant. Thoughts and memories are significant. They are there to help us to evolve consciously, but they are not there that you can use them against you. If we are having a few moments of peace, we feel amazed and baffled at how that is happening. And if nothing is going on, then we go around in the back of our mind. We go into the memories we have accumulated and we dig something which happened 10 years ago. That some 10 years back we made a mistake. The excuse of our suffering is we made a terrible mistake some 10 years back. And then we dig that out from our memory and we bring it up and we rethink it and we relive it. We remember it and then we become miserable again. This happens unfortunately and sadly every day and all the days of the week and all the weeks of the month, numerous months and numerous years. If we are maintaining for the most part of the day, I want you to understand this, please. Follow me. Listen to my words, pay attention to what I am telling you. If we spend our most part of the day being miserable, if we spend our most part of the day living in memories, living in resentments, living in the wish of getting even with somebody from the past, then these things are not comfortable. These things make us very uncomfortable, you see, but we do not know how to get rid of it. Half of the time, humans don't even know if they are having it. But what they are not aware of, it becomes it after a certain period of time, it becomes the part of the tendency. You see right here between these two eyes, it imprints over there. And if it has been imprinted over there, since we were having it for the most part of our day, every day, it becomes the part of the tendency and it imprints here. If it imprints here, and when we leave our body, I'm referring to bodily demise, such a person would progress by these tendencies. And remember, these tendencies are not very comfortable. These tendencies are not very pleasant. These tendencies are not very happy. These tendencies are restless. So it's the time right here. It's the time right now to do something about it, so it does not imprint on the tendencies. What is a guilt? A guilt is a type of remorse that you remember. A guilt is a type of memory that you remember, and you rethink it, and it brings sadness in us. That's what guilt is. A guilt is a memory about some mishappening in the past. A guilt is a memory of some event which causes sadness, something which has happened in the past, something which has no physical existence, something which is abstract, something which is not real, something which is not a reality anymore, is abusing what is real. Are you seeing what you are doing? I'm trying to help you. I'm, I'm liberating you. Something which has happened in the past means it cannot be undone, no matter what it was. It's not important anymore, no matter what it was. What is important, what you learned from it, not to linger it, not to punish yourself by remembering it, but what's significant and what's important, what you learned from it, what you could have done better if the same situation arises, what good choices or wise choices you can make if the same situation arises. That's wisdom. You see, what has happened cannot be changed. What has happened is abusing the present moment. There is so much beauty in this present moment, right here, right now. There is so much that you can perceive beauty, but the only way you would perceive the beauty of present, when your vacuum is empty, when the vacuum is filled with the memories from the past, when the vacuum is filled with the guilt from the past, then there is no room to perceive the beauty of present. No matter how hard you look at it, what I am saying is true. And what I am saying is pure wisdom. You have no Please realize this. I don't know how many times I have to say this for the humankind. Please realize whatever it was, whatever happened before, you have no control on it. The first thing to do something about it is the acceptance of the fact that it has happened or it happened. And then the only thing which has any significance is what good or wise choices I can make if the similar situation arises. What I have learned from that experience, that's where your focus should be, but not to remembering and guilting and making yourself feel sad. That's not what life is about, and life is very brief. Let's make the best out of it. When I say life is very brief, it means the carnation, which starts from the birth and ends to the bodily demise. You see two knots, remember? Anyway, so something you have no control to alter or change it, something which is not real anymore. It is only alive if you bring your awareness or focus voluntarily to it. Then it becomes alive and it abuses you. Something which is not real is abusing, which is real. What is real? The present moment is real. You see, when the present moment is being taken away because of something which has happened before, you tell me, do you see any wisdom in that? Do you see any smartness in that? No matter what part of the globe or planet Earth you are, you tell me that do you see any wisdom in that pattern? The wisdom is grow from it, learn from it, and perceive the beauty in the present. Don't let this abuse you, because no matter how many times you remember, it cannot be changed. You see, so look at the present moment and empty your vacuum. When you empty your vacuum, now you have room in the vacuum to perceive the beauty of the present moment. There are people around you, they pretend to be your well-wisher. I am not saying everybody is like that. I am a firm believer of the goodness in humankind. I am the firm believer of the goodness in humanity. We, the sages, or the wise people, or the seers, are not disappointed or hopeless. That's why we try to give you clear picture, because we believe when we liberate you, we liberate the entire planet Earth. There are people, again, not everybody, but you need to recognize people. The only way you can recognize people when your mind is alert enough. If your mind is preoccupied by some memory in the past, if your mind is preoccupied by scheming to get even with someone, is if your mind is preoccupied by the resentment you are carrying about somebody, then there is no chance to be alert. Then there is no chance to be wise. If your mind is caught up in fear, a mind which is caught up in so much in fear and sadness is not capable of carrying any type of wisdom. You have to transcend all this negativity, and then there is a chance you become wise when your mind does not carry all these negative traits. When your mind is fresh and alert, then you can see the intention of a person. A person may pretend to be close to you. A person may pretend to be your well-wisher, but still wants to hook your attention by reminding you of some event casually that can bring misery in your life. Try to distance yourself from such people. You see, the one who try to help you being more miserable, try to distance yourself from such people. It's better to be alone, it's better to be in seclusion and sit in a room silently and pay attention inwards. But to be with somebody who is helping you to be miserable, that's not smart. Resentment, another thing. As Lord Jesus Christ said some 2000 years back, that forgive so you can be forgiven. Are you understanding what I'm saying to you? Are you understanding or listening to the words I just said? Lord Jesus Christ said 2000 years back, forgive so you can be forgiven. Do you understand, or do you just remember or learn it by heart to say it in front of people so you can impress them or gain some type of attention from them? Or do you understand these words fully and profoundly? Which one are you? We'll go, we'll go on. Lord Jesus Christ said, forgive so you can be forgiven. It means when you forgive, you do not have the feeling of restlessness in you. When you forgive, you let it go. When you forgive, you your vacuum becomes empty so you can perceive the beauty in the present moment again. When you forgive, you don't torment yourself anymore by thinking about somebody. When you forgive, your mind is at rest. And how do you know you have forgiven somebody? As my mentor, Don Miguel Ruiz mentions, that how do you know you have forgiven somebody when you hear their name and you do not have an emotional reaction to it? Are you following? These words are very important for you to remember. How do you know that you have forgiven someone? When you hear their name and you don't have an emotional reaction to it, then you know that you have forgiven somebody. It's important to forgive so you can heal. It's important to forgive so you do not carry the feeling of restlessness. These feelings are very uncomfortable. These feelings sometimes make us feel like that there is a fire lit either side on our ears. These feelings cannot be seen or touched, but these feelings are not very pleasant to perceive. Yes, so forgive. Don't carry resentment. Forgive. Let it go. Forgive so you can be forgiven. When you forgive somebody, you forgive yourself. Don't you see that? When you forgive somebody, you forgive yourself. It's very simple. Just like when you try to control somebody. Have you noticed ever? Just like when you try to control somebody. When you try to control somebody, you take your own freedom away. Have you noticed that when you try to control somebody, when you try to subjugate somebody, you take your own freedom away, because now your awareness or your consciousness, what you essentially are, is solely focused on one person or on one being. You see, you are not inclusive anymore with everything and with everyone. This is the course of the nature. You are not inclusive with everyone and everything, but you are exclusively focusing on one person so you can control them. So that is also takes your own liberty away. So leave everyone and leave everything alone. You see, do not try to control. Nature would not allow it. Respect your own liberty and love yourself. You see, I know things intuitively that there were people, there were silent followers and seers who wanted to hear these words, who wanted to hear these wisdom, you see. And I intuitively knew that when I was in a deep state of samadhi. So I told you, Make your make time again for yourself. Very simple practices can create sufficient distance between you and your mind. Mind would never be silent. Mind would never be quiet. Mind seemed to have a will of its own. The only thing we have power is when we create distance from it, then it would talk to itself, but we would not bring our awareness voluntarily to it, no matter how compelling these lies may seem. This is the power and immensity of the being. I do it all the time. It has no effect on me. By only making time to my yoga and meditation, by only making time for myself solely. If I can do it, so can you. Real me and real you is the same. Remember that. The next um, I'm going to mention is September. You see, the month of September precisely, and October, the month which follows September, is October. But the month of September precisely is the month of the awareness about yoga and the meditation. The month of September is about the awareness of yoga and meditation. The month of October also. So next we are going to perform a Kriya Yoga and silent meditation. I hope my words brought some clarity in your awareness. The words of truth and the words of wisdom would bring very less in your life if you don't do practical. I always emphasize on that. Please remember that.